Hello, in this video tutorial, I'm going to describe the Alteryx Designer interface, show you the basic of building a workflow, and define some key terms. When you first open Alteryx Designer, you are presented with blank canvas. The area over here to the right is what we refer to as the canvas. It's the work area where you build out your process to transform and analyze your data without affecting the original source, and we build that process by using tools. Up at the top, this is the tool palette, where all the tools that are available in Alteryx appear, and these tools are divided into groups based on their functions. For example, in the In and Out tool, read and write data. Use Reparation tool to perform basic functions like filter, sort. Join is about blending the data, taking data from more than one source and bringing it together in a single data set. We also have a category called Favorites. The Favorites category has the tool that I use the most. You can customize which tool and group display by clicking the plus symbol to the right, and this is the plus symbol. You can change what shows and what is hidden in the palette. So I'm going to quickly show you how to build a workflow and describe some of the components of the workflow as I go along. So the first step in most processes is pulling the data into Alteryx. The Input Data tool allows us to do that. I'm going to drag it onto the canvas and drop it. To read the data from a local file, we simply click File, Browse, Recent Places, Sample Data, and then I'll select Customer with Transaction and I click Open. Whenever I select Excel, Alteryx is going to ask me which sheet do you want. For this particular one, it happens to have one sheet in it. It's the output sheet. And by selecting one with a $sign, I want to get all the record on that sheet and then I'll hit OK. Once I've pointed to a file on my local system, Alteryx reads a sample of the first 100 records or so. So I click OK. What I'm looking at today is how much did the customer spend in each of the customer segments across my retail network. And this is my retail network. I want to find the total spend for each segment. I can easily do this with the Summarize tool. So I'll click on Transform to go over to that Transform group where I find the Summarize tool, and this tool allows me to group the records by the customer segment column and get the total spend. Transform, Summarize, drop it here. I click on Customer Segment, Add, Group By, and then next I click on Spend, Add, Sum. I'll change the title here to Total Spend. Now I have created a two-step process. Next, I'm going to write the result to a brand new Excel spreadsheet. I go back to the In and Out group and get the Output Data tool. This will allow me to write out to either a file or a database. When I drag a tool onto the canvas and pass on to another tool, a little dotted line appears. The line is indicated that Alteryx wants to connect. I'm going to drop it out here where it doesn't automatically connect. The little arrow on the tools are called anchor. And when we hover over an anchor, our cursor turns into a hand. If I click on an anchor, I can manually collect tools by dragging the anchor to another anchor. Now the Summarize tool will pass its record through this connector to the Output Data tool. To configure the Output Data tool and create a new file is really easy. I just browse out to where I want to write the file. I call it Customer Segment Total. So here I click this, browse out, and I will save on my desktop. Customer Segment Total. Actually, I'll do it in the library, and then document, and then save. After clicking save, at this point we have our process, but we have to hit the run button to run the workflow, and you can see a log down below of what's happening. So let's hit the run button. Okay. So as you see, you can see that we have a result showing here. Going back to messages, it then sent out those 4 records to put the output data it took, which wrote the record to a spreadsheet on my local system. So let me just click on this. It'll show me a sheet of the customer segment and the total spend for each segment. So that is the basics of building a workflow. Bring in some data, do a little analysis, write results back out.